Ever wondered what happens after death? What if there was a way to cheat death and preserve life? These are questions that have fascinated humans since the dawn of time. As we push the boundaries of science and technology, we find ourselves facing the tantalizing possibility of life preservation beyond death. Imagine a future where death is not the end, but a pause. A state from which one could be brought back when science has advanced enough. It might sound like science fiction, but there's a field working towards making this a reality. This is the intriguing world of cryonics. Cryonics is not about bringing the dead back to life, but rather about preserving life at the point of death, with the hope of revival in the future. It's a fascinating intersection of medicine, technology, and philosophy, challenging our conventional understanding of life and death. Enter cryonics, a revolutionary field that offers the possibility of reawakening a preserved body or brain in the future. So, what exactly is cryonics? It is the practice of preserving a human body or brain at ultra-low temperatures. Cryonics isn't the stuff of science fiction anymore. It's a scientific field that employs extreme cold to preserve life in the hope of future revival. Imagine this, you're submerged into a state of suspended animation where every vital process halts. You're neither alive nor dead. This is essentially what cryonics aims to achieve, but how does it work? The process begins shortly after legal death is pronounced. The body is quickly cooled to a temperature that halts cellular decay, but not so low that it freezes. This is critical, as freezing can lead to damaging ice crystals. The body's blood is then replaced with a cryoprotectant solution, similar to antifreeze, through a process known as vitrification. This solution prevents ice formation, ensuring that cellular structures remain intact during the cooling process. The body, now prepared, is cooled further to an ultra-low temperature of around -196 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, all biological activity, including the processes of decay and death, come to a standstill. The ultimate goal of cryonics is to preserve the individual's body or brain until a time when medical science has advanced enough to allow for revival and the repair of damage caused by the original cause of death, be it disease, aging, or the freezing process itself. The goal is to halt the processes of decay and death, preserving the individual's body or brain until such time as medical science advances enough to revive them. The idea behind cryonics is that future technologies will be able to repair damage caused by disease, aging, or the freezing process itself. It's a captivating vision, isn't it? The future of cryonics is filled with promise and potential. Just imagine, a world where we could be preserved and then restored to life when science has advanced enough to repair our bodies and minds. We're talking about the potential of nanotechnology repairing cellular damage, artificial intelligence making precise medical diagnoses, and medical science curing previously incurable diseases. It's like a scene straight out of a science fiction novel. But it's essential to remember that these are still future possibilities. Even though cryonics is a burgeoning field, it's still at a relatively nascent stage. Yet the optimism is palpable, and the anticipation is truly electrifying. Advocates believe that advancements in medicine, nanotechnology, and artificial intelligence might one day allow for the revival and restoration of these preserved individuals. While cryonics holds promise for the future, many skeptics argue that the scientific feasibility of reviving a frozen body remains uncertain. There's a vast array of ethical considerations that come into play when we talk about cryonics. On one hand, proponents argue that it's a personal choice. They believe that every individual should have the right to decide what happens to their body after death. If a person wishes to be cryogenically preserved in the hopes of a future revival, shouldn't they be allowed to make that choice? On the flip side, critics raise concerns about resource allocation. Cryonics is not a cheap process. It requires substantial financial investment, not only for the initial preservation but also for the ongoing maintenance of the cryogenic storage. This leads to questions about whether it's ethical to invest such vast resources into something that is still, at its core, speculative science. Moreover, there's the issue of potential inequality. Only a select few can afford the steep price of cryonic preservation, leading to concerns about the creation of a socio-economic divide between those who can afford a potential second shot at life and those who can't. And there's also the question of the natural order of life and death. Some argue that cryonics is an attempt to cheat death, disrupting the natural cycle of life. Whether you see it as an audacious leap of faith or an ethically ambiguous endeavor, one thing is certain. Cryonics challenges us to contemplate the possibilities of a future where life can transcend death.